Hello everybody, I am Mike from the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike podcast, and I am a lifelong Star Trek fan watching classic Doctor Who for the first time, and I have reached the first episode of another serial here early in season 2. A quick reminder that I do appreciate feedback, so please do leave any comments, suggestions or bits of historical information that might be useful to me, the novice Doctor Who watcher, here in the comments. And likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Subscriptions make a really big difference. It boosts the profile of the channel, brings more people here, and promotes more conversation, which is ultimately why I am doing this in the first place. For anybody watching this for the first time, I do pause, I do talk over, I do edit around the video. That's just how I do it. And also, I would like to remind you to check out the other content on this channel, including the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike, the audio podcast that shares this feed where we go back and rewatch some of our favourite film and television franchises, in addition to the other film, television, music and general pop culture related goodness that shares this channel. Last but not least, we do appreciate contributions through PayPal that help with the upkeep of this channel, but as is always the case, please do only contribute if you can do so without negatively affecting your financial well-being. So yeah, going to see what this episode's all about, and I'm looking forward to watching some Doctor Who, so let's go. So that sign's not a good, well, sign. That's some sort of robotic control helmet he's got going on there. Oh, it looks like there's some location shooting going on this one. That's pretty rare, I think. They like to usually have more control over their environment. There it is, World's End. I assume this is a multi-part. Oh, Terry Nation, he wrote the Daleks episode, didn't he, in the first season? A name I know. I knew even before starting this. Did he write some of the books as well? I seem to remember being given a Terry Nation Doctor Who novel when I was a child. Lots of harumphing.
What has gone wrong?
Well, Doctor, where are we now then?
Somewhere nice and quiet, I hope. Oh, yes, let's have a holiday.
Take a look for yourselves.
Well, I can't see anything.
Well, neither can I.
Well, it looks like moving water to me. It might be a river somewhere. I don't know. What's the reading, Susan?
Radiation nil, oxygen normal, pressure normal.
I love it when Hartnell's like this.
That's an earth reading.
That? Well, I don't want to boast, but we might be somewhere in London.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go and have a
It's
look.
got all this going on, bits of business as well. I love the design of that.
Your planet?
You brought us
Good
along
looking
there,
episode, this.
In fact, sir, my boy.
Oh, a year or two either way doesn't make much difference to us, you know.
Well, I hope
Very
the
chilled out of him.
takes us near your time, but better abandoned all of it.
There's always a mess with construction work, Doctor.
Perhaps.
Oh, come on, Doctor, stop spoiling it.
It's all a bit dystopian.
I believe you me, I wouldn't spoil your homecoming for all the world.
Still can't see much.
All the worlds, plural. Oh. Oh, Susan. Oh, is it blocked for TARDIS?
Intelligent.
Looks great, this episode. Have they changed? Is it because they're shooting on location, or
No, young man.
better remaster or something?
Not even the chimes of old Big Ben.
Not even the chimes of old Big Ben.
Uncanny.
Hartnell's on great form here.
Anyway, thank goodness.
Well, how's your ankle, Susan?
I'll try it.
Not good.
Quick as we can. And you bathe that ankle. What you need is a jolly good smack bottom. Come on.
Times have changed, haven't they?
Oh, Susan, it is swollen. Can you twiddle your toes? Yes, that's all right.
Oh, the good old toe twiddle test.
I'll go and wet my handkerchief in the river. I'm sorry, Barbara.
Classic for a reason. It's got a real vibe, this episode. Daylight makes such a difference. Just makes everything feel a bit more
Careful,
bit more cinematic.
Hello there?
Just going to pause for a moment there. One of the things that I find really appealing about this so far is the Englishness of it. And I grew up in the 70s and 80s, but I find this really relatable because you've got the genre side of it. You know, it feels very much like a John Wyndham. David Triffids, for example, springs to mind. But also, you know, these abandoned cities that you think of even more recently in things like 28 Days Later and these, you know, the zombie apocalypse films. And there's something inherent about England in the 50s, 60s and 70s where, you know, you saw that first wave of industry after the Industrial Revolution start to shut down as means of production changed. And I mean, I grew up in Birmingham in the Midlands, and what you find there is in the very centre of the city, it's modern, but the further you go out, you get these kind of ever decreasing circles where the further out you go, the kind of older it gets from an industry perspective, to the point where you start to reach these areas where there are these abandoned warehouses and factories and workplaces. And it does almost feel like people just downed tools and left. And that's something that I remember very much from my childhood. That's something that I remember, well, from adulthood as well. I had a job for a while where I had to go and visit employers. I worked at a local college in England, and I helped students get work experience placements. And there was a certain amount of door knocking. And it would be crazy because, you know, you would go out to these places where if you went that little bit further out, you would see old equipment that hadn't been touched in decades. And it creates a very strong feeling. And you see that out by the canals and those outer areas of the city centre that haven't been urbanised. And there is a feeling about that is kind of creepy and is very good to exploit from a genre perspective. I mean, I think about even when I was a child, how, you know, my grandparents would have a shed in their garden, and they didn't really use it that much anymore because they were getting up there in years. And you'd see all of this stuff that had this old, creaky, musty, dusty, or antique-y, museum-esque. It would feel like they kind of existed in this creepy state of antiquity. And that's what this is eliciting, and that's what I think a lot of those things like John Wyndham and War of the Worlds and a lot of those great literary dystopian invasion sci-fi stories have. And we're really seeing that here. And I think the location shooting makes a huge amount of differences, because you can be in a modern city in England, but if you go down under the canal, under the bridge, and you move along, you do start to get into this area where things do feel a little bit unkept and a little bit wild and a little bit dangerous, you know? I think that's what we're seeing here. Oh, hello.
This place hasn't been used in years.
Years.
2164.
Okay.
Susan?
200 years in their future.
Susan! Where's Susan? What have you done with her?
If you will hang out by the canals. It's very intense. Ooh, I don't know whether I should, dude. Yeah, I mean, this looks exactly like what I was talking about, you know. I could see that, just some abandoned building in Digbeth.
What on earth? I don't know.
What's going on here?
Do you think it could be some sort of medical aid, Doctor? You know, if he'd
Or is it like an anti-mind control helmet? I don't know. Just guessing now. So, Mr. French Resistance kind of vibe going on here. World War II. Again, loving these real-world environments. It just means that they can have a scale. You know, it's weird seeing shots from a distance because they're not enclosed in these small studios. Just creates a whole new new options for visual language. And speed of movement as well. Because they're not having to make it look like they're running when they're actually in a really small environment. You know, they can actually go like the clappers. Oh, sounds a bit George Powell. Oh, wow. Pretty good looking miniature there. Classic flying saucer. Yeah, this great. I'm broken record. Great looking episode. Lots of very memorable imagery.
It might have been something to do with that gunfire we heard across the river.
Yes, I suppose they might have hidden somewhere.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
It's just exasperated every time.
You know, I want to get away from here.
Must be a Tuesday.
Hold on.
Is this it?
Yes. I'll get that.
He's a good actor, isn't he?
Yes.
They all are. It's great when they get these quiet moments to be reflective.
What do you do?
I eat.
Look, I'll try and find the two friends and I'll bring them back here.
David, where are you going?
Well, there's two more of them
Classic
down there.
aliens, maybe.
Yes.
Classic alien invasion.
Don't be...
Oh, he's got his knife.
Well, I repeat, it's stupid. Stupid place
like
to
a
put
plague
picture
or
right
something.
under a bridge where nobody can read it or see.
Oh. Oh dear. Zombie bucket heads. Oh, we'll give you some lashings. Oh. Oh. It's a ruddy Dalek. I had no idea that they were in this. Dalek's coming out of the water as well. That's cool. Ah. There you go. Huh. What a pleasant surprise. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Great looking episode. Great environment. A little bit like the sort of the miniaturized people episode in the way that it's playing on a lot of broad sci-fi tropes. Maybe they weren't as broad then. I guess this is all about context, isn't it? But this idea of the kind of abandoned London and just the inherent creepiness of that. But and I guess the opportunities that being able to film on location give them, how that positively affects the visual palette of the show as well, means it's a great looking episode. And then you got the bloody Daleks at the end as well. So really looking forward to the next part of that one. What a pleasant surprise.